It's fine.
And
All right. And now, officially, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the last day of our on site workshop. Um, and also, a very big welcome to the online audience. We are very happy to have you with us for this last day. Um, so, yesterday we had some really lovely workshops, both on site and online. And we started working on a lovely think tank, which for the online audience, today you will hear all of the results about, but that is for after the break. First, we are going, oh no, wait, first things first. Yesterday at your cultural activity, which was so amazingly organized by Andreas. Thank you again, Andreas. There was a little bit of a mixy mumble jumble in the group, so some of you don't have a certificate, which is very sad because obviously you need a certificate for your amazing detective work. So, in the break, you can find all of the missing certificates on the registration desk. So, if you don't have one, go look there and find your name. But now, on to more important things, which is our Teach Meet. So, hello. In this Teach Meet, 4 selected teachers will share a strategy or an idea for a project that works super well in their school that you may use to implement or adapt to function in your school as well. And we will dive straight into it. We are starting with Andrea Joanna. She will give you a lovely teach meet on the topic of geography and how it doesn't dictate your educational destiny. Give Andrea a round of applause.
Good morning. Good morning, dear colleagues. I'm happy that I'm here. Today I will present a case study about my school, a rural school from Romania, and how geography doesn't dictate educational destiny. My school is not large. It doesn't have exceptional resources, doesn't benefit the advantage from urban school often enjoy, and yet achieved something remarkable. The fourth school in Around County to receive the title of eTwinning school label. Where we stay, future-ready schools require vast resources, massive infrastructures, and proximity to urban tech hubs. We didn't have this in our school, but this year we have it. The reality in my school is that we are a rural school near a urban school area, and many children are going to urban school because they have more accessible learning resources. The achievement, despite this contrast, it forged a path to become a pioneer of digital transformation, collaborative culture, and European integration. Because for 2 years, we didn't have an IT teacher. We only teach IT. from our teacher, Romanian teacher, English teacher, math teacher, or physics teacher. Balancing the realities of rural education. The challenges: geographical isolation and reduced visibility, limited access to international experience, fewer professional development avenues. The strengths: we are a close knit community with bonds, highly personalized teacher students relationship, and deep organizational flexibility. We have a good bond with parents and the local community because we are a small village. How eTwinning acts for my school: acts as a bridge to European opportunity. We developed from eTwinning project the digital literacy, linguistic skills, cultural diversity, and civic responsibility. We transform technology in novelty and everyday cultural norms. We create authentic necessity to communicate in English and foreign language. We learn in our school English and French, expanding the world view of students who may never have left their region. Because we are a rural school, the possibility, the materials are fewer, and our students don't go to other schools or to visit other places. And civic responsibility: we foster the understanding that local actions impact a shared European ecosystem. The leadership paradigm shift. From traditional, we shift to future-ready approach. eTwinning integrate directly into the core school's development plan. We learn to teach on STEM, distribute leadership where teachers take initiatives and lead, digital tools integrated seamlessly into everyday teaching and collaboration. Our teachers learn to use IT and the IT application like Canva, Padlet, Digipad, Book Creator, Podcast, and European network driven by cross-cultural problem solving. And geographically bound, focus slowly on standard local curriculum. We expand on modern curricula. The engine of shared leadership: from strategic vision to teacher empowerment to innovative projects and student motivation. Because if we don't have innovative projects and teachers who are motivated, we don't motivate the children to participate in these kind of projects. Students shift from passive rural pupils to proud, highly engaged European learners collaborating across borders. For my students, the big achievement was to talk in English with partners from Italy, Portugal, Greece, and other countries. This year, I learned from my students that they didn't know where Latvia or Estonia or Lithuania is. They learned geography, but didn't see that there is a country. They thought there is a spot on a globe. But involving project with many partners from other countries, they realized that the children from this school are the same like him. Sorry. Engineering the Future Ready curriculum. This is the latest eTwinning project that are developed in our school. From local identity, heritage pathfinders, to STEM and science, our planet, our home, say hello to space, global awareness, and humanity and culture, the project My Efficient Energy A. With heritage pathfinders, we received the eTwinning National Prize. We in Romania and the partner from Greece. How we redefine the student's identity with intercultural exposure, future-ready skill sets, and intrinsic motivation. We overcome the isolation. We move beyond rote memorization, and we elevate the self-perception and self-esteem. And students no longer view themselves morally as pupils from a small village, but take immense pride in operating as fully recognized European leaders and learners. How we elevate the educators? By continuous development, accessing a vast European network of webinars, online courses, and international exchanges, to import modern methodologies directly in our rural classroom, transition from traditional to modern, and collaborative culture, breaking the isolation of the individual classroom. As I was saying at the beginning, we are the first eTwinning school in Arad County. The milestone was earning this eTwinning school label. It was a regional breakout. The validation, the title served as undeniable proof of the school shared leadership vision, robust digital culture, and alignment with European values. And the message, it proved that systemic educational innovation is not bound by geographic or budget. It can flourish in the most modest of settings. In my classroom, I told my children that if we can, all people can it. Because we are a rural school and I have only 200 students, and they are from family with social background poor and not educational so high. The lighthouse ripple effect. The students are gaining future-ready skills, cultural awareness, and profound self-confidence. The teachers are achieving professional empowerment by accessing European resources and adopting modern technologies. And the region is acting as a lighthouse. The blueprint for future ready schools. Leadership is a shared journey. Digital is mindset, not hardware. Global reach enriches local identity, and rural context is not a barrier. eTwinning is a gateway to educational equity by opportunity, creativity, and transformation. By connection, collaboration, and courage. And the journey of my school proves that the future of education is not defined by the size of the building or by the geographical area, by by the scale of its connection. Every school has the potential to become a lighthouse of European values. Thank you. Sorry for my English.
All right, thank you very much, Andrea. And to not lose a lot of time, we are going to go straight into the next Teach Meet that will be given to you by Yorita, who is going to talk. Thank you. Who's going to explain to you something about inclusive education and how it is an increasing challenge. This is the clicker.
Okay.
Please speak long.
I want to this one.
Are you sure?
So good morning, everyone. So it's nice to be here, and I'm happy that you notice our gymnasium to invite us. And this is our first event like this in eTwinning, and I would like to share some experience and in our inclusive education. As you see, my T-shirt are from our gymnasium uniform. So our gymnasium is in Klaipėda district near the Baltic Sea, and it's our gymnasium is a very like octopus comprehensive gymnasium. We have 4 departments and all levels: kindergartens, primary, basic, and secondary school. And we are all 450 pupils, and 62 there are with special needs. So it's about 14%. Okay. So inclusive education is a challenge for all of us. We faced more and more every day. So here's our gymnasium. And inclusive education becomes more and more common in modern schools. In Lithuania, inclusive education has been mandated for our system the second year. Teachers work with students with different needs, takes patience and creativity and preparations. Each child learns in their own way, in their own pace. For this reason, teachers have to try different teaching methods. Sometimes there are not enough resource or support. However, these challenges help teachers improve their skills. Schools become more open to diversity. This helps to develop strong science for community. Is it not always easy? Inclusive education makes the education system more equitable, and so universal design for learning helps create flexibility learning environment. This benefits for all students, just those identified with special needs. And teachers' flexibility and efforts helps to every child feels included. Flexibility is very important for teachers in inclusive education, and every student is different and has their own needs. One teaching method doesn't work for everyone. As we know, teachers need to adjust their teaching. They look for ways to involve students, every student learning. Sometimes they give different tasks or extra help. It's important that no students feels left out. Flexibility both helps create a safe classroom. Teachers also support students, not just teach them. They help students left more confidence and also increase their emotions to learn. So how works our team? We work together with teachers. We have assistants, students assistants, child supports specialists, psychologists, social special educator, and our team goals: openness, accessibility, and supportive environment, inclusion, collaboration. You can see some photos of our events, presentations, so on. So we can all do, but we can do in different ways. More attention is paid not only to results, but also to the child's well-being and emotional, as we tomorrow was discussing about it. So today, the emotional well-being for a child is very important in education. Good grades are not longer on only goal. Teachers try to understand how students feel in classroom. Emotions have great impact on learning, and the child who feels safe and happy learns better. This is why relationships at class, at school are very important. Teachers strive to create a friendly and supportive environment. Students are encouraged to share their thoughts or feelings. Education becomes more focused on the holistic development for the child. This helps students to grow both academically and emotionally. And social actions at our school, Common Down Syndrome and Autism Day, and we support with our pupils too. So we carry out various preventive activities, trainings, discussions, forums about it, activities, and inclusive education believes empathy. And inclusive education helps students understand each other better. Children learn to accept and respect differences. They spend time with classmates who may be different from them. This helps them become more caring. Empathy becomes an important value. Students learn to help and support each other. And although the main idea, every student should feel valued, respected, and fully participated in life of our gymnasium or another school, and as they can. Our team makes every effort and guarantees that every student, no matter what their individual needs he can fully and uniquely and realized and to their patient. So if we can soar, no? So, okay. So thank you very much, and I hope we will meet in our school in Lithuania. So
Thank you very
my
much.
email and our school's internet.
And Jurgita also put a very lovely video in her presentation that we sadly didn't have time for, but when we send you all of the slides, you can definitely take a look at that video. And now to move on, we have Guillaume for you guys, who is going to talk to you about a very funky interview program. Give him a round of applause, everyone.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Guillem. I'm from Mallorca, from a school called Saint Clemençari Cervera in Porreres. And when they proposed us to explain a very good moment that we have in an eTwinning project, I said, I have the best moment, sorry, a very simple project, but with very good results that I love and my students love too. The project is called Funky Interview Program, and as the name says, it's about interviews, and I'll explain you a little bit of it. So, I start with the best moment. This is the best moment, meeting their partner face-to-face online. I feel that it's magic for me and it's magic for them, because I'm going to explain how we make the pairs, but we have the student making a live interview, and they've sent the questions, they've answered each other, they've read the avatars, the self-introductions. So they think that they know each other, but then this moment is that everything becomes real. I think it's more, they are more than nervous, it's like they feel excited, they feel like, wow, this is real. Of course, the project is online, but I don't know. And this moment really makes impact on them, and I'll explain you a little bit later. So, very simple project that everyone can do, and I'll explain you a little bit of it. So, this is the final product they do, which is a real magazine-style interview. But first, these are the steps. First, they write the self-introduction with an avatar, and all the training projects of many of them, they start with a self-introduction, but sometimes we don't have much time and we don't really, it's like one more thing we do in the project. But in this one, it's really important, it's highlighted, because when we make the pairs, they have to check and read information about the other student they're going to do the interview with, and it makes the sense to read the information. Also, they can start thinking of the questions, see if they have something in relation. This makes the sense. Then they write between 10 and 12 questions. We ask them to be open questions, because then the answers can be, the students can explain a little bit more, not just closed question, but it also depends on the manage of the students, the level of the students that I'm going to explain. Then they send the questions on the twin board, then they answer the questions, and finally they do this magazine with the whole parts, all the parts, with the title, the headline, the avatar, question, answer, introduction, and goodbye. And finally, the best moment, they represent this interview live one day. Then, important, as this is a simple project, we can work all these things. Of course, it is English, it is curriculum, we have to work this. We work the language skills like question words, because, well, I don't know in your countries, but in Mallorca and Spain, English is a bit difficult for them, and having everything has in a structure, it's difficult. But well, we work on the questions, how forming these questions, expressing opinions, okay? Also, the digital skills, of course, with Word, then we do the Canva and the edit the Canva. But the emphasis is on social and emotional outcomes. This way, they can learn empathy, intercultural understanding, because they're going to make an interview and be interviewed from a person of another country. So there's always cultural differences, and also confidence in speaking. When they do this interview, they read it, of course, but well, this is the way that at least we practice a little bit of pronunciation, communication. It's like, I don't know, representation, but it works. Then, what's the key of the project to me? pairing the students, how we make the pairs of these interviews. So we have two criteria. First, a similar level of English. We have low, medium, and high. We've always done it like this, and it works, okay? Because if the students have high level, they can make more complicated questions with open answers, and the results are good. These are called multi-level activities. So if a student that has very low level can participate, and the ones that are good, motivated, and they want to do a complicated thing and good thing, they can do it. So we have this, and also shared interests. I think this is also an important thing about the success of the project. For example, we take into account nationality, circumstances, hobbies. For example, I remember, I'll give you some examples. I had a diabetic student that made an interview to another diabetic student. In my class, we had a Romanian student, and in another class, there was a Romanian also student. So we matched them. I think there were two players of volleyball, and we matched them. And these common interests, they spark the curiosity and also empathy. So that, I think, is one of the successes of the project. So the right match also sparks curiosity and confidence, but not also to the student, also with the schools. You know, eTwinning, we work with other schools, with other partners, and sometimes we find a perfect match. So I would like to thank El Buen Pastor from Zaragoza. We've been doing this project for, I think, 6 years, working together, but we change the rest of schools every year. I don't know why they don't want to repeat, but this is also the beauty of eTwinning, because you find different schools, different ways to work, different cultures. So we are always open to do this project. Anyone interested in joining can do it. It's for primary, 12, 13 years, all right? But it's also good to change the partners. Oops. Okay. Then some practical, some emotion. Some practical tips to do this project. It's very simple. It has a very simple structure, so anyone can do it. If you don't have experience on eTwinning, so start small, and then you can go and do with more classes, more schools. Also important, the focus is more the connection and the empathy, not perfection on English. If they have a high level, of course, we can focus on the English management. But in this project, we want that they have a good experience. And we encourage creativity in the magazine, okay? Because the idea is that even small eTwinning projects can create big moments. And I wanted to finish with this image because, of course, the project is online. But the project finally goes beyond the screens because it really has an impact on the students. Because sometimes when I go to the secondary school for a meeting or whatever, the students I had, they tell me, I still remember the project that we did with you, that we interviewed other students. Another student interviewed me. Maybe they don't remember the name or the nationality, but you see that you create an impact on them. And I say, it's simple, but I think it's so worth it doing projects like this because they are not very complicated, but they learn language, but also it has a huge impact on them. And as I always say, eTwinning is a very versatile and big platform, and we have infinite possibilities, and the only limit is our imagination. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Guillaume. That was very, very fun. And I'm sure we have all taken notes of that. And then moving on to our last teach meet of today. we have Laura, who will be talking to you about the importance of early reading in child development in the context of an inclusive education. So a follow-up from the lovely presentation that we had from Jurgita. Laura, all yours.
Okay. Okay, too. Okay. How do you think when learning starts? When learning starts? When? When? Thank you. We start learning when we born. Yes. And we start from our first breath. So I think that very important learning starts in kindergarten. I'm from kindergarten from Lithuania, from Šiauliai city. So when child come to our kindergarten, we start every year early reading project. We start, and I think early reading is one of the most important factors in influence a child's successful development. And in early reading, teachers, community, we can be all involved in this process. Inclusive education is based on the principle that every child is unique, with different abilities, experiences, and learning needs. In this context, early reading becomes an important tool that enables every child to participate in learning process according to their abilities. So I will not stop at the literature about early reading best things, what they are doing for our child, for our students. I will show you shortly how it works in our kindergarten. So we start early reading project. It's titled Early Reading, A Path to Discovery, is being implemented and in all our project and part of education. The aim of this project is to create opportunities for every child to experience the joy of reading, develop language skills, and actively participate in the learning process, regardless of individual differences. So, how it is. Daily reading and storytelling. We have sensory rooms or sensory places in every class or calm zones where child can be with his teacher, with teacher assistant, and they can calm, or every day or once a week they are telling sensory stories. After that, they can discuss and so on and so on. Drama creative activities. Every child can create. He can become some person as he wants. And yesterday we saw in Denmark schools, they are doing something like that, days or month or weeks, I don't know, by the Harry Potter themes, yeah. Games with letters and words from smallest child. They are reading books with teacher together as they could, as they can. They are making puzzles and any activities as this teacher create for them. It is everyday process too. And use of digital tools. Tools we have a lot, and I think you know that tools same. I didn't mean them in the my platform. Children creating their own books. As you see, there is a child group from 1 to 2 years old. They talk about vegetables and they create them vegetable books. One day they were apples, the second day they have been carrots and so on and so on. The work was with the community, with the health specialists. We are coming to our process. And they can think, they can do, they can write, they can do as they wish. And collaborated with families. We have a great community, and parents are coming to tell stories for children, for them group. They are playing games. As you can see, we have 2 departments, and in this activities are like same, and parents like to be the part of communities. They can see how the child work on this process. They can be the part of the education process. You know, the small child and the parents are very nervous. What are they doing? Is the food good? Is the teachers are lovely? And so on and so on. And when they can be a part of our education process, they can be calm, and they can do, and they can be part of our day. And we communicate with social partners like libraries. When we starting this process project, what was the best thing from this project? That library was the part of our project, and when we start project, the pupils are 1-2 years old, but in the end of the year they are like 2 or 3 years old. And in the end of the project, they are the part of library because they get reader's ticket for free, and they are getting first their book. So it works like this. How do I thought about this project? I was the part of the project in 2024 when I was a primary teacher. Now I'm head of the kindergarten. And when we start fairy tales, the key to learning and development, and I saw that we have partner from this project, and partners was from kindergarten, and they so beautiful integrated to this process, so it was beautiful to see. And I saw that in our kindergarten this process can be integrated too, and as I saw, it was great integrated. So in conclusion, we know that every one child, if he want, if one teacher, if one parents, if one community, everyone can get success. Yes? So, and educational process is a part of creativity of all of our minds. And as Albert Einstein says, if you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. So everyone grows with fairy tales. Let's read it.
And thank you, Laura. That was really, really nice. And thank you to every one of our Teach Meet presenters today. Now, we will be going on break. 1 second before you go. If you are leaving early, so before the end, can you please make sure that your lanyards are, either you give them directly to Laura or you put them on the registration table. You can keep your badge, but we need the lanyards back, please. Don't forget about your certificates from the cultural activity at the registration desk either. And please enjoy your break. For the online audience, we will be back to you by 11:30 our time. Thank you. All right, welcome back, everyone. And also welcome back to the online audience. We are going to start with the output for our think tanks. So for the online audience, yesterday we looked at some good practices, some things we wanted to stop doing in our schools, and a shared priority that we wanted to work on for the next year. And we put that in an action lab template. Now, this is a follow-up from what we did on day one, where we started the discussion on how we wanted to promote eTwinning in our school. And after yesterday's Action Lab outcomes in our one-year priority plan, we will now hear from you on what you discussed. So we had a few topics on inclusive teaching and learning designs, and we worked on how to ensure inclusive practices in every classroom. Then we worked also on the topic of assessment and early identification and how we could use assessment to detect and address gaps. We also focused on targeting support and differentiation, on how to support SEN, multilingual learners, and struggling learners. And lastly, we worked on school organizations and cultures, on building a culture of openness, teacher collaboration, beyond just the school walls. So to start off, we have group 1A, and if I am right, the person who was going to present is Andrea Koltish. Wonderful. Thank you, Andrea. Lovely to see you back up on stage. Here you go.
Hello again. We start from how to ensure inclusive practices in every classroom from eTwinning projects. The concrete steps were to design lessons that offer multiple ways of accessing content, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, to encourage peer collaboration and mixability group work, and to use digital tools to support inclusion, working with accessible digital tools, text-to-speech, subtitles, visual, or drawing. Where eTwinning is used, all students are engaged in activities. The activities are with support and accessible. What will stop us doing this? The project is not accessible to all children, mostly with educational needs, special educational needs. The teachers are not motivated, demotivated kids, and IT technical problems, because yesterday the wireless, the Wi-Fi doesn't work so good. Didn't work so good. How success will be measured? The number of children who are involved from starting to finish. Evaluation for teachers and for students. Feedback evaluation. And the number of parents involved in activities. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And to follow that up, we also have group 2A on inclusive teaching and learning designs. We did not have your slides in time, sadly, so you will have to present orally. But that's not a problem. Zeynep, are you going to present? Yes, with Ava, perfect. Okay.
No problem. Hello, I am Zeynep from Turkey.
And I'm Eva from Spain. And yesterday we were working in our group 2A. And we decided the topic of the group was inclusive teaching and learning design. The priority area in our school is a group of students. We have students that they are refugees and immigrants that they do not speak correctly, or they don't understand the language in this country. So we thought about eTwinning, and that is an excellent tool to create at the beginning national teams mixed with these students, refugees, and immigrants. And we already know using eTwinning, we not only improve the language or the communication skills, but also we improve the use of technologies, and we can make our students to be more confident and working in teams. They also cooperate. So as leaders, one of the difficulties is because of the lack of time in our classes. When it's not possible to include these twinning activities in class, where we have as a after-school activity extracurricular. And yeah, these students love all the tasks and all the activities, and my colleague Zainab, she's going to talk a little bit about that eTwinning thing. Sorry.
As my friend said, we are working with refugees and immigrants living in different countries. So our aim is to make them involved in the project. So multicultural differences refugees and immigrants face while making projects. So where eTwinning is used. We think that they are in different classes, so we will work in lunch break and at school library. What you'll stop doing. So our friends won't afraid of making mistake. They will be involved in all the projects, no matter where they are from. They won't feel any pressure or something else. And so how success will be measured? First we will make a survey about the project, what they think about eTwinning before the project and after the project. And so how many projects did we make, and how many students joined the project, and also process. The process will be measured. And the competence and strength, their language skills, their critical thinking, peer work, group work, and also cultural respects. And finally, other thoughts and comments. They will have confidence, and they will get to know, understand each other's cultures. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very, very much. Then we are now moving on to topic B, assessment and early identification. 1B, I have Marcela, who was going to come up and present. Give her a round of applause.
Kalimera, everyone. So our group had assessment and early identification. And about assessment, we have all different countries, all different systems, but in some parts they were similar, and also the same for early identification. Some systems are different, some systems are similar, so we focused on problems that we had, we focus. And we think eTwinning can be a very good platform to move from and to help us with a lot of issues. So we think eTwinning can help us to share our good practices by inviting eTwinning ambassadors to school all of us knew and have contacts with ambassadors, or if not ambassadors, then more experienced eTwinning partners. Then for the second step, we think professional learning community that eTwinning has created would be nice. For example, online courses, online development and workshops that are ready recorded. And as I mentioned, good practice sharing, but using small steps. So firstly, as the beginner, they should start with smaller, small scale, short-term projects. And also, eTwinning platform offers a variety of tools, kits, and maybe not the last, but not the least important is collaboration. And it very nicely coordinates with eTwinning. You have opportunity to find partners online in a forum platform. And we think we should start delegating the others, because it many times it happens with leaders and directors that it takes less time to do it by themselves. But it's important to collaborate, it's important to delegate the others and be facilitators rather than directors. Okay, and then we would use to measure our success selfie, self-reflection tool that is already made. And then we can use ongoing surveys, questionnaires for measuring also ready labels like national quality label, European quality label, or eTwinning school certificate. And that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we also have group number 2B who will focus on this. There I have Joanna and Robin who would present. You can come up both or one of you. Both. Perfect. Give them a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Joanna. This is Robin. We had some insight from our think tank group work on early identification of learning challenges across subjects. We discussed some concrete steps like establishing clear routines and tools to identify students in need of additional support. Also, ensure sufficient time and resources are allocated to support these students throughout the school year. Now, where eTwinning is involved in this part? It engages students through collaborative, creative and meaningful cross-border projects, support teachers in sharing best practices and effective strategies for early identification and support.
And then we talked about what to stop doing, and talked about moving away from teacher-centered lecturing towards a more student-centered facilitating teacher approaches, like trying to involve the students more. And when it comes to how to measure this, we talked about that you can measure how the students are engaged through some kind of survey. We also talked about that you can look at their grades and look at how have they evolved in their academic outcomes. And then you can also look at how many students you actually found in need of help in different ways and compare that over time.
Yeah, we think that it's a more holistic approach towards meaningful purposes, okay? Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Now, on to our next topic, which is targeted support and differentiation from Group 1C. I have Alia coming to present. Perfect. Thank you. Give her a round of applause, please. She's all by herself.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you to my group who helps me to write this. So, targeted support and differentiation. For the concerned steps, collaboration in pairs and practical activities, labs and games, differentiation in materials, where eTwinning is used. I think it's not this one. No? No. Yes, this one. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So, have a plan. We must define the process, give support and inspire, invest in teacher training, work on the attitude of the teachers on the whole school. We see each learners and support them. Where eTwinning is used inside and outside the classrooms, in projects changing the teacher's attitude to work. And what you will stop doing? We will stop relying on uniform lessons. We will stop the think of one-size-fits-all teaching. We avoid locking students to fixed high or low groups. We will stop ignoring data because we don't collect assessment data without using it to adjust instructions. And how success will be measured. Number of teachers and students involved, self-evaluation, quality levels, closing gaps, and reducing disparities between high-achieving and struggling students. We also thought about success isn't just higher test scores. It's balanced through students progressing, teachers empowered, equity strengthened, and systems sustained. Thank you very much, and thank you for my group.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, on to Group 2C, which Andreas, you will perform for us. Thank you very much. Here you go.
Thank you. I mixed up the slides, so that was the error. I took the first slide, Dorbia Group 2. So, well, our topic was target, support, and differentiation. And we were talking at first about what was in our schools, what were the topics in our schools. And we came to, on the one side, autism and ADHS, which is becoming more frequently in every school, I think. And then there are other tasks, lack of language knowledge for maybe refugees or immigrants, and struggling students in general. And we wanted to focus on struggling in general because it comprises all these things. We talked about what works, that's extracurricular activities for collaboration, where those students, those struggling students, have to be integrated in projects. Maybe a change of location, working in nature, and special attention by a third person, an assistant of some kind. So, our concrete steps, because I said these measures already worked: collaboration in pairs and practical activities that may be lab work or games or gamification, something like that. And of course, the standard differentiation in materials. Where eTwinning comes to use is motivation or encourage the students with international projects and different roles according to their skills and abilities. So in a project, there is not one doing all. Each person, each student can work with what suits him best. And what we will stop doing is the traditional teacher-centered lessons. It's interesting because the same came up earlier. And how success will be measured. The first thing to think of should be improvement in participation, and later on maybe even the grades, but the participation is the first thing. So that's from our group. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andreas. And now on to our last groups, which is on the topic of school organization and culture. From group 1D, I have Anna coming to present. Wonderful.
Okay, hello everyone, I'm Anna from Latvia, and yesterday together with my group mates, I think we did a great job within a very short period of time. Some of my group mates were from 6 countries, and we worked on the priority to open schools with specific values focused on collaboration, communication and other European values. So the steps we have put forward and planned to do the next school year is to include parents as well. As we all know, students' voice is very important in eTwinning project, but we suppose also parents have the valuable ideas with which they can contribute to eTwinning as well. Then we'd like to collaborate more actively with municipality and government institutions to show them, or maybe to remind that we do exist and that we are leaders of European communities in our towns and cities. I would like to invite experts related to our eTwinning project. For instance, if the project is about eco topics, so some experts related to eco. That's easy to be done with Erasmus accreditations because we have some funds to implement trainings for teachers within Erasmus. So we can plan those experts, so related to eTwinning topics as well, we are planning to implement. And then we are going to give teachers some free time, so they have the time to plan collaboration, to work with the colleagues. And the idea was that first we need to find a colleague in our school, our bestie. So we spend some time with them, go for a coffee, for a theater performance. So we establish good relationships. And then we find our besties, eTwinning besties in other country. And we start the project. And with that, our behavior, we set an example. We are role models for other teachers, our colleagues who are not involved yet. Yeah, so eTwinning will be used in parents' meetings, so we are going to inform them about the results of the project, so for dissemination purposes, but not only, also for contribution of the ideas to the projects. We are going to integrate intercurricular and school documentation, so we should set specific topics of eTwinning projects which should be implemented in different levels of education in our schools. And social media will be an important tool to promote and disseminate the results and to inform the society. What we are going to stop doing, we are going to stop working on our own. We will just collaborate. We are going to involve our colleagues and to distribute tasks, so we wouldn't spend much time and wouldn't have that big load just on our own. We will also stop pressing other teachers to get involved into eTwinning. So if they don't want, so no, so they will just observe us, the role models, the happy eTwinning teachers with happy, smart students. And later on, they will come up to us on their own and they will ask that, could we join eTwinning? Could you show, could you teach us, please? And how our success will be measured. So our target is 10% of the number of involved participants, including parents, institutions, experts, students, and teachers. But the most important beneficial outcome is the well-being of our school community with happy teachers, happy students, and happy administration. And happy faces. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then on to our final group of the topic on school organization and culture, which is Päivi, if I have noted down the name correctly. Give her a round of applause. Yes. Last but not least.
Okay, thank you. I'm Päivi from Finland. Our group was quite practical in this workshop. So we wanted to improve the communication and skills in our schools and motivate teachers to work together in projects. And we were thinking that we want to use eTwinning in everyday job, everyday work, not only the language teachers, but all kind of teachers. And I know that many schools have already some kind of teacher teams. So we were thinking that small teams inside the schools could practice to use the eTwinning if you haven't do it before. So that would improve those skills in teachers. So the concrete steps were creating, I don't know, okay, I know what that means. I said yesterday, I don't know what means PLC because we don't use it in Finland. I think it's professional learning communication. Yeah, okay, we don't use it. Okay. And then ensuring time and educate teachers, the technical side. So no one have to go here standing right, I'm doing that you don't know what you're doing. Because if I have to go with the pupils now, the eTwinning, I can't do it. I have to practice myself first, and I want to do it with my teachers first, and then I go with the students. And I think there are some of teachers in your school too, they can't use it. So we were very practical on this. And then we can also have teacher-pupil teams and pupil-leader teams. And what we will stop doing, we will stop making excuses anymore about using this eTwinning. We are stop thinking negative about eTwinning. And how we will measure the success, it's the amount of the project we have had in 1 year and amount the teachers who have used the eTwinning. And after this, our competences strengthened are communication between each other, digital competencies, language competencies, and most important, our attitude towards eTwinning will be more positive. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. And we really hope that you can take not only these ideas for your 1-year priority plan, but also the idea of a think tank and an action lab with you back to your schools. And we hope it will inspire you there. I will now hand you over to my colleague Ruth for the closing speech.
Well, thank you so much. I think you've been the most active, most engaged group of school leaders that we had so far. So congratulations. Congratulations for all the energy, for all the work done, for all the reflections done. We know this was not the end, definitely. It was supposed to be a beginning of something. And that's what we really hope for, that you take all the inspiration, you take all the ideas, all the tools, whatever you gained here today, that you take home, you implement, you make it happen, and maybe in a few years' time, we can look back and say, okay, I started there, but now I'm here, and I actually have a story to tell and an experience to share. So that's our true hope. And I know that most of you are super tired because we really work really hard. So I'm not going to take too much time. I would like to, first of all, thank all the keynote speakers and workshop leaders. If you are still here, could you please stand up to receive a big applause? Thank you so much. Yes. Without you, it would be impossible. So thank you so much for your contribution. I would like also to thank the online audience for staying with us this whole time and for also being very active. We had roughly, I think, an average of 40 people in the workshops sessions. In the streamings was slightly higher the number, but the streamings were public, so of course we were expecting a little bit more. So we had another 40 school leaders engaged and participating in the workshops that we also prepared for them in parallel of your workshops. So in parallel of what you were doing, we were also running another online event for other 40 school leaders, average. But this event it's not built in one day, first of all. It's not built by just one person. It's built by a big team. And I would like to thank also all the national support organizations that supported us in preparing all details. All details. And there's many details that I'm not gonna mention all of them here. But mostly, I would like to thank, first of all, Andreas. Thank you, Andreas. Being our contact point here in Thessaloniki, so was a huge, huge, huge help. So thank you so much. And of course, my team, my lovely team, Laura, over there. Julia, very silent but always working. I don't know if you noticed, but she yesterday chased 6 groups of the cultural activity just to get you some pictures and some... Yes, there's a lot of work behind the scenes. And last but not the least, definitely, I would like to thank Kira, the mind behind the whole program. For sure, without her, it would have been much, much harder. So thank you so much, Kira, for all your work. And... It is always a pleasure to work with you, because that's how I see these events, that we work with you and we build together something beautiful. Now, I would like to say goodbye to the online audience, and you can definitely close the streaming.